Alright, so in this video, I'm going to go over alternator pulleys, okay? You've all seen them, alright? There's three different ones that I know of. There's obviously everyone that worked on a vehicle knows of the solid pulley, okay? That is one. And then you have a OAD, which is a overrunning alternator damper or decoupler, okay? It just depends on how you want to word it. And then there is a overrunning alternator pulley. Now, you all seen it. The serpentine drive system, the car's running, the engine's running, and however much you think that the engine is running smoothly, it isn't, because a cylinder is essentially firing, and for that moment of acceleration there is a force generated, so the engine may look smoothly running, but it really isn't. So the overrunning alternator damper or decoupler, let's go over that one. What that does is it actually has a spring tension in it and allows the alternator to swing in both clockwise, counterclockwise directions. Now, overrunning alternator pulley, that's basically your one-way clutch, okay? It'll allow it to spin in one direction and not the other direction. Now, there's a couple of ways they do this. They do it either by Sprague or by overrunning clutch. The difference is a Sprague has a lever that wedges, and it's a bunch of them. That's a Sprague. As to where an overrunning clutch has ball bearings or needle bearings, and the outer race is on a ramp. And what happens is, in one direction it'll freewheel, and the other direction it'll actually force that needle bearing into the alternator shaft, lock it in place, and force the alternator to turn. Now, why is this important? When you have smoother operating engines of today, because due to the variable valve timing, whether it be done hydraulically, mechanically, electronically, or pneumatically, you have a smoother running engine. And when you deal with stopping, starting, going, those forces, that takes a toll after a while, okay? You've seen the serpentine systems, a regular conventional serpentine system. You've all seen the solid pulley, the AC clutch engagement, you know, it's on off. Nowadays you have a variable compressing air compressor done electronically through mechanical leverage. That whole drive system, okay, it is bouncing, okay? If you look at the older style serpentine systems, that tensioner is going crazy, it's doing this, right? Well, nowadays you look at a drive system and it's real smooth. The tensioner is hardly moving, if any, and that's all due to the overrunning pulley systems that they have, the adjustable variable air compressors that they're running, the electronically driven air compressors for the AC system nowadays. Not everything has to be ran off the crank, okay? All that force is ran off the crank and the engine feels it. The transmission feels it, the clutch, the torque converter, everything, U-joints, everything feels that. Whether you think it doesn't or you can't feel it, doesn't mean that it's not there, okay? This is to prolong the life of everything associated with that drive system, engine, everything attached to it, okay? Small things, when put together, add up to bigger things. It does reduce noise, it does reduce wear, it does have an effect on other components. Shoot, nowadays, I mean, you look at a serpentine drive system and everything is just so smoothly running. there's no jumping of the tensioner. There's no whipping of the belt. It's just a smooth operation. That's going to allow your bearings and your pulleys to last longer. It's going to allow your serpentine belt to last longer. It's going to run everything more smoothly. Technically, the pulleys are actually sheaves, okay? A pulley has, you got a wheel, a bearing, and you got a frame around it. That's a pulley. These are actually sheaves, but now you have the pulley because of the bearings, the overrunning clutches, the Spragues are getting more complicated. There's more engineering involved nowadays. And that's all for comfort, okay? That's for creature comfort. People pay for comfort, all right? They want a smooth transmission, so the transmission ends up destroying itself because it has to slip before it goes into the next gear. Now they have built-in technology, they have built-in engineering to help reduce that heat, that friction, that rough engagement, and it's all done electronically and with orifices and traveling through passages and all that stuff. It's just not mechanical mayhem anymore. It's all fluid. It's all being engineered and refined better. So I hope that helps. Remember, there's 3 different kinds of pulleys. You got your solid, which beats the heck out of everything, including the alternator and bearings, pulleys, and your damper and crankshaft, and everything gets traveled down the line. You have your overrunning alternator damper or decoupler, which allows it to swing in both directions. So starting up the vehicle, quick revolution changes, that all gets dampened. While it's there sitting running, that all gets dampened, okay? Because remember, when you have something spinning, there's that inertia, there's that momentum, there's that energy, okay? Now you turn on the AC, you have one pulley that's trying to slow down, and you got an alternator pulley that's trying to speed up. It's going to make that tensioner do all kinds of crazy stuff. But you don't think about this because it's the nature of the beast. It's how it's always been. It's supposed to be like that. Not anymore. Everything has engineering behind it, and it's all for creature comfort. It's not just an apparatus. It's not just a thing. It's running harmonically together, running in feng shui, okay, for lack of a better term. So hopefully that jogs a couple of minds out there, give some people some food for thought, and until next technical talk or whatever I do, there you go.